What were they thinking? I'm dead fucking serious. Fuck! Fuck! How can I do this? How can I live up to the massive duty that has fallen upon me? My destiny has emerged, and the ultimate reckoning has drawn near. I must not fail. I must look the demon in the face! Not you, you piece of shit! I'm talking this. This piece of paper is what will propel me into my final encounter with my arch nemesis, the unholy of asses, the shit from the pit, the nightmare in 6 colors, the rainbow of death, the laughing, joking numbnuts, LJN! I'm about to embark on a mission to come to terms with LJN once and for all. As you can see here on my wall of LJN kills, I've already eliminated several of these foul, catastrophic fuck nuggets. But now's the time to take care of the rest. And this document here was sent to me from LJN. They're still around? Well, not exactly. It's complicated. So before I tell you what's at stake here, let's go into a little background. First of all, who are and who were LJN? We all know their distinct brand of games, the same way you'd recognize the specific smell of your dog's farts. You take one ghastly whiff, and you know exactly where it came from your dog's anus. But LJN was like the master of disguise. As a kid, when I rented these games from the video store, say Back to the Future or Roger Rabbit, nothing seemed immediately wrong. The graphics usually seemed nice, and they all had a playability factor. But the further you'd go, the worse it would get. Like in the final stage of Back to the Future, when you're driving the DeLorean, if you lose, you start back at the beginning of the game, no matter how many continues you have. What bullshit. The NES library had plenty worse games by other publishers, so LJN was definitely not the bottom of the turd totem pole, but that made their crimes even more detestable, because they tricked you into thinking the games were good, especially when so many of them were based on well-known franchises. With other shitty games, you wouldn't waste as much of your time. You'd realize it's shitty right away and turn it off. But LJN had that sneaky style to rope you in. But even though they had a distinct brand, their games were actually made by several different development companies, so LJN was only a publisher. In a sense, they were the colon and the developers were the anus. The companies, just to name a few, were Beam Software, Atlas, and the one that developed perhaps the worst one, Bill and Ted, was called Rocket Science. Wow, damn, I'm glad they didn't actually go into rocket science. The one that's the most shocking to know of is Rare, who made Beetlejuice, Nightmare on Elm Street, and a few others. They're probably better known for non-LJN games like Battletoads, and would eventually have a partnership with Nintendo on Killer Instinct and Donkey Kong Country. I would have never guessed such awesome games came from a company that had anything to do with LJN. So even though LJN was the publisher, their games are still called LJN games, in the same way that the 2014 Ninja Turtles movie was called a Michael Bay movie, even though he produced it and did not direct. But to answer the question, who exactly were LJN, we'd have to trace it all the way back to its founder, a guy named Jack Friedman. He started LJN as a toy company in 1970, and I've heard he named it after his employer, Norman J. Lewis, reversing his initials to LJN. That was until it officially became Laughing Joking Numbnuts. At first, LJN only made toys before branching into video games. In the 80s, I remember playing these toys, like the wrestling figures. So I had nothing but positive memories there. Guess they should have stuck with toys. So anyway, in 85, MCA bought LJN, but then in 90 sold it to Acclaim, who in 95 dissolved LJN, even though they used the name once again in 2000. As for Jack Friedman, in 90 he formed Toy Headquarters, THQ, eventually leaving and forming Jack's Pacific. And sad to say, Jack passed away in 2010. Rest in peace. So basically, the rights to LJN have been all over the place and lately have existed in sort of a phantom limbo. But this document from the current owners certifies me as the sole inheritance of the name LJN. How could this happen to me? With great power comes great responsibility, and with me as the head of LJN, I will undo the wrongs of the past and prove that there is gold at the end of this rainbow. I will be remaking the LJN game library, starting with Back to the Future, using the same limitations they had back then, except this time it'll be done right. So, let me introduce to you my game designer, Sam. How you doing, Sam?
Hey nerd, I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be working on this. What are you calling me from?
It's Commodore 64.
How is that even... It's not important. Listen, Universal have a strict deadline on this, so it has to be ready in time for the Christmas shopping season.
So, the actors' likenesses, the music, do we have, everything signed off?
Yeah, working on it, but it's almost there.
So we want this to be more of a fun action experience, racing around on a skateboard, lots of enemies, characters from the movies.
Sounds good. I'll get to work and report back soon.
Thanks, Sam. That new game is going to be good. Better be. While he's working on that, I'm going to get down to business and review the rest of the LJN library. It's like cleaning the cat piss stain on the back of the litter box. One of these days, you're just going to have to do it. But how many games are we talking about here? The LJN stamp appeared primarily on 3 consoles, the NES, Game Boy, and Super Nintendo, with a few lone poop nuggets. For reviewing purposes, I'll be grouping them into categories: movie-based games, sports games, Marvel games, wrestling games, and miscellaneous. In total, I've counted 67 games to the best of my research, including one game console, the LJN Video Art, which thankfully I've already covered. The joystick moves the cursor about. To draw, or should I say to scribble around like a blind golden lion tamarin on speed, you hold down the button. And when you're pressing down and rocking the joystick around like this, it squeaks. That's awful! Yeah, that thing sucked. But anyway, the criteria is that every game must have the LJN logo on the box or the cartridge, with the exception of 2 that only have LJN on the copyright screen. These are just going to be samplings. Every LJN game will be shown, and after I finally acknowledge them all, I can move on with my life. First, let's talk about the movie-based games. Now, fortunately, I've already covered most of them. Memories. Cue mandatory milestone episode number flashback sequence.
Well, let me be honest with you about this one. Ooh boy, I hate this game. And if you touch an enemy, you fly in the opposite direction. You can't get close enough to really attack anybody. So every time you get hit near a pit, you're basically dead.
Now this is kind of fun though, you get to punch people. Yeah. The only thing that's really annoying is that it takes so long to charge that punch. Oh, you know what? It isn't fun. You know what? It just isn't at all. It's just a pain in the fucking ass. What are those guys doing with that window anyway? And why are those giant bees always coming out? Give me a break. And what the fuck is Marty doing when he gets killed? It looks like he's having some kind of seizure. I mean, I guess I'd have a seizure too if there were bees and hula hoop girls and all this weird shit coming at me. I mean, just leave me alone. I'm trying to collect clocks. In this timeline, when Biff brought the Sports Almanac to 1955, it somehow created a world full of piranha plants, killer clouds, and evil Martys. You're supposed to collect 30 items and bring them all back to their rightful places and times. You find the items behind locked doors. To unlock the doors, you need to find the keys, which are found by killing random enemies. But the keys don't sit still. They fly off the screen the second they appear.
Love the way the stones keep missing the zombies because they go in this nice arc that flies over them. I love how smooth the camera angles are. The overall design, the AstroTurf floors, just ingenious. That's the best game over screen I ever saw. That's brilliant, right? You and your friends are dead. Game over. But here comes a game like Friday the 13th that just cuts the bullshit, shows some balls, comes flat out and says, you're fucking dead. And your friends too. Beautiful. You're dead, your friends are dead, your family's dead, your fucking pets are being skinned alive, your mom's a fucking whore, you suck at life, the whole world hates you, you're going to hell, live with it. Game over. So you play as some dude who has some serious balls because he punches snakes right in the fucking face. Punch him! Smack him around! Assholes! Goddamn fucking spiders! Spiders! Punch him! Snakes! You want some too? Could the villains be any more stock? Like, we had this creepy game about Freddy. What kind of creepy characters could we add? Well, how about bats, ghosts, spiders, skeletons, and Frankensteins for the kiddies? Could it be any more uncreative than that? Like, why don't they just add some witches, black cats, and flying jack-o'-lanterns? They should have just called the game Boo, Haunted House.
All you're doing here is killing time until the game decides you can go back to the boat. Then you can sail around again until you hit something else. It's sort of like RPG style where you run into battles at random. But here, it's always the same undersea scenario. Nothing changes. The whole thing is just powering up so you can fight Jaws. That's all there is to the game. What a waste of time. So, we're throwing bombs on jellyfish. Seriously? Then you come to the boss. Now who is this guy? He's taller than you, and aren't you supposed to be the Terminator? Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger? But trying to shoot the truck and pay attention to all the other stuff at the same time is really frustrating. Okay, well, what was the point? Why couldn't you just collect the bombs and put them where they go? I can only imagine what they were thinking. Duh, you put these bombs in this thing? Alright, what next? How about you take them back out and you put them somewhere else? It's treating us like a fucking dog. Go get the ball, bring it back, go get it again. Fucking dickwads. Next we have Terminator 2 on Game Boy. The first stage seems simple enough until you reach the laser barrier at the end. So naturally you walk back to the left trying to figure out what to do. Then you find out you can shoot these towers. So I take them all down and still we have a barrier. Turns out you gotta shoot the towers in order from tallest to shortest. What a load of random bullshit. At the end of the second stage, you have to reprogram the Terminator. Okay, is this how John Connor did it? I never thought this part of the story would make it into the game. Basically, you have to mend the wires together so the electric currents go the right way. But you have a time limit, and it always seems to end right when you start to figure out what you're doing. You can't even pause the game to look at it because the screen goes blank. What is that good for? It's like he's a marionette or he's being hanged by an invisible rope. Like, holy lord, that is some fuck right there. Look at him go! Woo, woo, woo! Oh man, a head-on collision with a truck and a motorcycle, and the truck explodes. This is the absolute worst driving stage I have ever played. Just wow, it takes the cake. Gameplay is just as mindless as ever. Move the cursor around the screen and shoot everything in sight. Fighting the boss is the most redundant thing of all. It takes more bullets than anything you'll ever see. All you do is shoot, shoot, shoot. Oh, but there was also Terminator 2 Arcade on Game Boy, which I said very little about. But that's because there's nothing to say. Look at it. If I heard that, I'd think it was an Atari game. What's the point of taking an arcade and watering it down to Game Boy? I guess you can take it on the school bus, to the mall, to the arcade. Then there's Beetlejuice on NES. So, how does Beetlejuice hold up? Let's turn on the juice and see what shakes loose. Damn! Ah! Fuck! Shit! Nope, not fun. Game sucks. That's all you need to know.
Say that to someone in a sentence. To get a cloud to move, I had to get a skeleton to shoot a fireball at a beehive. When did that ever happen in the movie? And we're talking about a movie that's batshit insane.
But I didn't talk about Beetlejuice on Game Boy, based on the cartoon. Uh-oh, the ghost got in the washing machine. They're fucking shit up. Gotta fight the clothes and the sheet ghost, which is, a sheet with a ghost inside. So that's the main goal. You have to fight all the ghosts, which is the opposite of what Beetlejuice normally does. Doesn't he haunt a house, not unhaunt it? What next? Are the Ghostbusters the ones letting the ghosts in? There's a bunch of crappy mini-games. Here the idea is, who can make the freakiest face by tapping directions on the D-pad? That's a new one. Then there's a game where you connect pipes. Wow, does this look like fun? No, it isn't. Even Mario and Luigi, who were plumbers, never had to bother with this type of shit. But the worst is the stairs. At random, they'll flatten and send you sliding back down. Motherfuckers. And it keeps happening over and over, with no pattern or predictability. You fuck!
You think they overthought this a little? How about just a cutscene showing the phone booth spiraling into a time warp? You have to hit one of the pink skulls. One of them takes your coins, the other one makes the last digit appear. So it's a 50% chance you'll get the right one. That is some supreme bullshit. How do you find this bait? You want to know? Guess what? By jumping into things. You want to play in Bill and Ted game? Well, here you go. Go jumping around in the fucking bushes and fences. That'll keep you busy. Have fun.
But if you want more fun, you should try out Bill and Ted on Game Boy. Even though I'm trying to be sarcastic, it actually is more fun, though very basic. It's sort of an old school arcade style thing where you just go around collecting orbs and dodging a bunch of Abe Lincolns. There's almost nothing to say, but in this case, that's a good thing. Because this is such a sharp contrast to the NES version. I can't think of any other example where a Game Boy version is far superior. Another game I already did was Alien 3 on NES.
You can never predict when the aliens are going to pop out. It requires split-second reaction time. I don't know, Thing from Addams Family dragging a dildo? Just another addition in this game's museum of anomalies. Ripley's Believe It or Go Fuck Yourself.
But wait, there's more. Alien 3 on Game Boy turns Ripley into a stick figure. Or maybe it's an alien, I don't know. So all I did in this game was walk around like an idiot. There's ladders everywhere, but you can't go up any. Found some alien eggs, touched them, and died. Lots of people walking around, can't talk to them or anything. No hints, no direction, no map. This belongs to a certain genre, strategy guide seller games. But Alien 3 fared a little better on the Super Nintendo. The graphics are good, the music is tense, and the control is smooth. You have a variety of weapons. You can select different missions, like save prisoners or destroy alien eggs. Though the enemies come a little too often, and I wish there was a map. Something like Super Metroid would have helped. There's a blueprint system that you find on the terminals on the wall, but anytime you're lost, you have to make it back over there. Kind of like stopping at a gas station before GPS was invented. The best part is the game over voice. Game over, man! Which was from Aliens, not Alien 3, but who cares? Well, here's one that I missed in my Arnold Schwarzenegger Games episode, True Lies. It's one of my favorites of his, not just for the action, but also the humor. The game retains some of that humor, like when you shoot an innocent civilian, your assistant, the Tom Arnold character, gives you shit about it. Also, when you die, he says things like, "You only have one life left," as if he's witnessing you die and resurrect. But wait, what do you do when a civilian's blocking the path?
He won't move!
But when you fail, this happens. Now that's what you call a game over. It really does emphasize the magnitude of the defeat. Boom! You lost, motherfucker! Unfortunately, the game is very monotonous. Even though the scenery changes from the mansion, the mall, the park, it's all the same top-down, run around and shoot crap. When you think of the movie, you remember the bathroom fight, the horse on the roof chase, the bridge scene, the Jamie Lee Curtis strip dance. I wonder how that would have worked. It does have the plane finale, but it's just an automatic cutscene. Oh, and of course there had to be a Game Boy version. Here, Arnold looks like a pill from Dr. Mario with a gun. It's the same thing, shoot bad guys, but avoid civilians. And anytime you shoot, you're guaranteed to get shot back. It's better to just walk past them. All in all, it's the same as the Super Nintendo version, just shittier.
You're fired.
LJN even made games based on movies you might not remember, like Warlock. The graphics and animation are pretty nice. The gameplay is basic enough, run to the right, blast everything in sight. It's fine for a bit, till you realize how resilient these enemies are. Stay down, you zombie fuck! Stay down! Then you run into these archers. Die, you fuck bugger! And every time you get hit, you get knocked back half a screen. Look how long it takes to beat this guy. Die! 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 Oh my god, when are they gonna die? When are they gonna die? Oh my god. Then these gargoyles keep coming at me, and they take just as long to kill. Every enemy is like a mini-boss battle. The control is clumsy, you can't attack and move at the same time. When you die, it sends you back to the title screen. Instead of simply continuing, you have to go to Preparations. That brings up a menu with the password option. You enter the password, and then wait through a cutscene with a book. And being a magic wizard and all, I can't see how water kills you. And it's not clear how I'm supposed to make this jump anyway. Hey, I got a magic trick. LJN even made a game based on the '95 swashbuckling adventure Cutthroat Island, which, according to the Guinness World Records as of 2012, was the biggest box office failure of all time. Oh, and then add LJN, it's the perfect storm. So the first level is okay, it's just a dumb beat-em-up game with cartoonish graphics. The animation is good, there's a variety of sword swipes and rolls you can perform. It's not bad, really. Until you get to the next level. Now you're in a wooden cart ramming into enemies. You just mow them all down. Seems simple enough, but if you hit a rock or a tree, you die instantly. There's no death animation, it just fades to black and restarts the stage, so if you blink, you might not even notice what happened. Like when I hit this guy, I had no idea how I lost, but it turns out you need to avoid him. But how the hell was I supposed to know that? You run over everyone else, why not him? All right, let's check on Sam. Hey Sam, how's the game coming?
It's pretty good, you know, all things considered. I mean, the NES is a little harder to program for than I expected, but, you know, it's coming together. You can see it. Well, yeah, why don't you try it out for yourself? It's an early build, but I think it's promising.
Quick delivery? All right. Okay, it's a good start. I mean, we need some kind of power-ups here. So can we put Hill Valley in the background there? Have some time travel, get the DeLorean up to 88?
Yeah, we got time.
Maybe have the holographic shark?
Oh, totally. It's a boss fight.
Did we get all the actors to sign off yet?
Yeah. Well, no. We're working on it. It's almost there.
It's a good start. But yeah, there's a lot left to do.
Well, let's get back to work.
I'll check in on you again soon. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Once again, the mission here is to sample every LJN game. I've already taken care of the movie-based games, but now let's get into the sports games, which is a little bit of a problem for me because I don't know anything about basketball or baseball or football. So first is NBA All-Star Challenge on Super Nintendo. From what I saw on the menu screen, it's only a bunch of one-on-one games. Graphics are good, the reflections on the floor are a nice touch. But this is no NBA Jam. Not very intuitive, and of course I don't know how to play basketball, but you'd think I'd be able to figure out a video game. Goaltending, blocking, traveling, what the fuck? I suck so much at this, it's embarrassing. I'm making Michael Jordan look bad. Imagine if he was actually being controlled by some shitty video game nerd. Then there's a Game Boy version. What am I supposed to do with this? It's the same game, but even more awkward, with worse graphics. And listen to it. They tried to emulate the sounds of the shoes squeaking on the floor. Well, they tried. The ball dribbling sounds like farting against a sheet of aluminum. But if that weren't enough, the Game Boy game got a sequel, NBA All-Star Challenge 2. Yeah, an exclusive sequel for the Game Boy. Now, this one's got to be a massive improvement because why else release a second portable game? It's the same thing! Okay, they added audience in the background. Well, that makes it worth it, because that's what you want. Who wants to play a fucking game with no crowd? That's something I'd buy again, just to have the new special audience background edition. Or they could have just had the crowd in the first game! I was even flipping through the player stats, just to see if anything else changed. If Larry Bird gained a pound or some shit. Oh shit, his PPG average went up. I want to know that shit. Somebody's weight changes, buy it again. Somebody changes team, buy it again. Somebody's score changes, buy it again. New paint on the court, buy it again. Ah, sports! Ah! Now we're into baseball games, and there's already been enough baseball games on NES, but LJN has to throw their hat in the ring, or some other baseball pun if I had one. So first there was Major League Baseball on NES. More like major shit. Whoa. Slow down here. What am I looking at? The entire screen is just a wall of numbers and shit. Select first batter, okay. Select second batter, okay. Select third batter, fourth batter. Oh, can't select that one. So I got up to 8 batters, and now it starts asking me to select pitchers. Look at this. I've never seen more stats and information outside of Dungeons and Dragons. Man, to be into sports, you gotta be a nerd. Okay, so when I finally get to the actual game, it's pretty much what you'd expect. It's baseball. Batting, I have no luck. I mean, what exactly is the hitbox in a baseball game? But when I'm pitching, the other team hits almost everything. It's going, it's gone! The crowd goes flashing in colors! Then we come to Roger Clemens' MVP Baseball, which was a trilogy, including an NES, Game Boy, and Super Nintendo version, which is often the case with LJN. They put the same game on all 3, so you'd have the choice of shit light, shit medium, and pure grain ultra shit, which is the Game Boy one. You take one look at it, there it is. It's baseball. Move on. The NES version is the same thing with better graphics, but the one thing about these games that sets them apart from Major League Baseball is that after the ball is hit, instead of going to an overhead view, it goes to a third-person view, and whenever the switch happens, it's a little disorienting at first. And as far as batting goes, I never got the chance because I started off pitching, and the other team hits everything. So it's like an eternal, never-ending game of baseball, which to me is the very definition of hell. The Super Nintendo version, aside from having better graphics and an impressive opening cutscene, is no better. It's the same game with the same problems. I get confused every time the perspective switches, and I never get a chance to bat. Charlie Brown would have better luck. And I'm not kidding, the other team hits every fucking ball. Fuck. Mother the fuck! Now it's time for motherfucking football with just plain ass NFL. Not as blunt as football on Atari, but simple just the same. No Madden, no year, none of that shit. As natural as a nature trail. Undiluted, genuine, uncontaminated, straighter to the point than the cone nose of a fresh expelled cat turd. Not named after the amount of yards the field is or the length it takes for your dog to walk to take a shit. Not named after the TV channel or a college or the type of skin on the ball. No Montana, Colorado, ESPN, go fuck yourself. Just plain as perfection, as undisputable as death. 3 letters, up your ass, NFL! Ow!
Okay, the game goes on for 2 seconds, and now I'm stuck on some kind of countdown. What's going on here? Anything I press, the referee stops the counter. Delay of game?
I can't believe I'm saying this. But just let me play some fucking football! Have the decency to let me begin my suffering!
So once again, the game starts up for 2 seconds. Who am I? Which team? Where's the ball? And before I have a chance to mentally process anything, I'm back to this damn timer. Of course I know nothing about football, but don't you think I'd at least be able to mess around and figure out something? Next is NFL Quarterback Club on Super Nintendo. Okay, let's see here. Pick the game type. Preseason, new season, who cares? Rookie, whatever. Teams, home or away. Oh, you have to pick weather now?
Pick the weather? How far could you possibly go? Oh, the decisions in life. Should you go to college? Should you get married, divorced? Should you move into an apartment or a house? Should you have a kid or adopt or have a pet? But then comes a question greater than any in the history of human civilization. A question that concerns the very ground on which we stand. It's the fundamental surface of the warrior's trial, from the ancient colosseums to the arena fields. It's the very vegetation that grows beneath. It's the cycle of life. It's a pivotal decision that will forever alter the course of time. It's humanity's most critical judgment. The fate of all existence depends on it. And now, at this major turning point, as you stand at the burning crossroads under the light of God and ask yourself, what'll it be? Grass or turf? That's a very important decision.
Grass or turf, man? Grass! Okay, so after I picked the grass, the game eventually started for about 2 seconds.
Sir!
Sorry, got a little carried away there. Anyway, the game sucks. Should have picked turf. Then there was NFL Quarterback Club on Game Boy, which was a totally different game where you're running from a side angle through like an obstacle course, and then a view from behind as you throw balls at targets. So if football games weren't enough, you also have football practice games. Then there's NFL Quarterback Club 2, which doesn't even have a 2 on the title screen. Yeah, this was a real headache to sort all this out. And the game, well, it's the same as Super Nintendo.
Let's check on Sam.
Hey, nerd.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, it's coming along. Try it out.
Okay, what? The clocks? Really? Clocks again?
Time, isn't it?
Okay, we need to change the clocks. We can't have clocks in the game.
Got it. Right. Changing the clocks. No clocks.
You didn't get the licensing, did you?
The hoverboard, that we got that. It's pink and yellow.
How are you supposed to control this?
Yeah, so there's like an acceleration, deceleration thing going on there, so it feels kind of like actually hovering on a hoverboard. I'm still working on getting it to be actually playable.
Yeah, playable, that would be something.
Yeah, he'll get there.
The holographic shark. What is going on with it?
Okay, so the NES couldn't actually do like transparencies. So to make something look kind of transparent, you had a frame where you could see it and a frame where you couldn't see it. Couldn't see it. So it like flashes on and off. And if you put it on a really old CRT TV, it kind of looks transparent and you only get a tiny little bit of a headache.
A tiny bit of a headache. Okay, this really needs to get fixed. How much time do we have to finish this again?
Plenty of time. We're good.
All right. Well, that'll get straightened out. Anyway, we already took care of the LJN sports games.
So next, let's check out the LJN Marvel games, which consist of Spider-Man, X-Men, and the Punisher. First up, the Spider-Man games. Luckily, I already covered some of them.
The game's Spider-Man, Return of the Sinister Shit.
There's no, like, jump kick move. Like, you can't jump and then do an attack.
Well, then don't do that move.
Look, now what's he doing? He's not gonna come up. I can't even tell if I'm hitting him. Do it, damn it. Jump, 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 jump.
It's a piece of shit.
It's a bunch of fucking crap.
Amazing Spider-Man, and believe it or not, the control is even worse.
The punch is delayed like a full second later. How do I get up?
Jump.
I am jumping. Look, it won't. Oh my god, I can't. I tried to jump, I swear.
God damn it. It's horrible.
But there's more. The Game Boy version had sequels. Oh yes, here comes Spider-Man 2. I can't blame myself for missing it. It looks similar, but the controls are very different, especially the way the web works. You gotta stick onto things and sort of like just swing yourself around.
It's kind of like Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's a good attempt, unlike the first Game Boy game where the web was automatic. Here it's more calculated. Until you run out, now you're on your own. So you go around fighting enemies, climbing walls. It's your usual friendly neighborhood Spider-Man game. What's this, a dead end? Oh, literally a dead end. Well, I'll know next time not to touch the electric fence.
Well, damn. What's next? Spider-Man 3 on Game Boy? Yeah.
Who would have guessed this would be a trilogy? Spider-Man 3, Invasion of the Spider Slayers. Oh boy. When it starts, you're just running around a park beating people up. Then you reach a dead end, at least one that doesn't kill you this time. So you're just running back and forth, taking out enemies until finally an arrow appears at the bottom and lets you leave the stage. Next thing, I'm fighting a xenomorph alien. I mean, it looks exactly like Alien. Then there's some weird boss. Is it a bird? A robot claw? I don't know, but it's the shyest boss in game history. Won't come anywhere inside the screen. So fuck this. Moving on to the Super Nintendo, we have Spider-Man and X-Men in Arcade's Revenge. At first I thought it meant the arcade machine was going to get revenge, but it's actually the name of the villain. You start out as Spider-Man, and I don't mean to say everything always sounds like farts, but when your spidey senses go off, just listen. The goal is to collect these little things in a specific order, as if just fighting your way to the end of the stage wouldn't have been enough. So the game just started, and already it's an annoying maze. At least there's arrows to tell you where to go. So I'm just gonna follow, wait, which way now?
Left, right, down, up, left, right, left, down, up.
The arrows can't even make up their minds. After you clear the level, you get a character select screen. Each character has their own stage. Wolverine's fighting clowns, Jack-in-the-Boxes with machine guns, and toy soldiers from Wizard of Oz. Storm's level is an underwater stage. I figured she'd be flying, not swimming. And here's Cyclops' stage. What the fuck? The floor's electric? That scream is hilarious, by the way. And look at that silly kick. So to avoid the floor, always make sure to ride the cart. There we go. All good.
And if you wanted arcade's revenge on the go, well, here's the Game Boy version. Same game, same old shit. Nothing more to say. Except that wall climbing. Oh man, get up there! Get up there! Damn it! Ah! There was another one on Super Nintendo just called Spider-Man, though it's based on the animated series. Gotta love that song. It's another action game. It's colorful and appealing at first. Love Spider-Man's walk cycle. Walking like a tough guy. Reminds me of Henry Hawk. You can even punch computers. Make them explode. Yeah, that's how I feel whenever my computer gives me shit. What's this? Am I standing on an NES console? Anyway, you just gotta go around fighting enemies. Seems all fine and dandy till you come to this barricade. Motherfucker. I tried kicking it over and over till finally I managed to knock it down. Persistence and luck. But there is one more LJN Spider-Man game on Super Nintendo that I covered already. Let's end with Spider-Man Maximum Carnage on Super Nintendo. Everyone says I should play this one, as if I haven't already played enough Spider-Man games. Well, it's a beat-em-up game, monotonous, but fun. The controls are responsive, and the hit detection works fine. It can be a little frustrating, but not too bad. And the music is upbeat and energizing. I found a good Spider-Man game. Who made this game? They made a game! It's not shit! It's not shit! Yeah, I couldn't find much to complain there. But anyway, let's move on to the X-Men games. Now, there were 2 on NES by LJN, and thankfully, I covered these as well. Rather stick your dick in a piranha's mouth. Here we go, Marvel's X-Men. Look at this. Cluttered pixels, scrambled textures, shit flying everywhere. It's a disaster. The characters look like stiff, mangled, colored shapes that barely represent who they're supposed to be. Cyclops looks the same as Storm. All they did was recycle the same character and color them all different. Don't ever give the computer a character with a projectile. Because look, it's like giving a little kid 10 pounds of sugar and a super soaker. It goes apeshit, and it never, ever stops. Okay, what's happening now? I'm frozen? What the hell? Oh, that's nice. Isn't that fair? That's like tying my hands behind my back. And how can I be frozen with a character that's called Iceman? I'd be better off with Iceman from Top Gun. Every time you use your claws, it drains your life. So that kind of defeats the whole purpose, right? So just forget the claws. It will be nice to use them, but you can't. The ducking is incredibly delayed. When you push down, it doesn't just duck like any other game. It goes into this little animation. It's unnecessary, and it makes it hard to avoid getting hit by something. Oh, fuck you. How cheap is it to put the burger right on top of a propeller? Look at this. It's fucking impossible. Almost dead. Gotta get the beer. Ugh! I've had it up to my ass with this piece of shit. In conclusion, this game's way better than the other one, but it's still a pile of donkey dicks. But they also made a Wolverine game on Super Nintendo, Adamantium Rage. There's no color scheme, everything looks like a mess. The controls take time to get used to. Any simple button command sends me flying, jumping, and somersaulting all over the place like a maniac. It's a confusing maze with background doors that you can't go in. I keep getting lost. And look how jittery Wolverine's movement is. He only goes fast and still. 2-geared diarrhea. And falling through platforms? Oh yeah, gotta have that. But at least you can dig at the floor, like a cat burying its shit. Everything I press does some stupid move, and I don't know where I'm supposed to go because everything looks the same. Right about now, I'm feeling some adamantium rage. Next up, The Punisher. I once made Pat play this game, but I've never actually reviewed it myself. But that's because there's almost nothing to say. It's just a crosshair point-and-shoot game. It's so bland, it doesn't even have music most of the time. As a rental in 1990, it wasn't bad as a time killer, just blasting away everything on screen, just as you're blasting away your brain cells. If it moves, shoot it. If it doesn't move, shoot it. During the boss fight, you can use your fists and feet.
And after you kill him, it says RIP.
Wow. In video games, you don't think about all the people you kill. You take it for granted. But here comes a game that reminds you of the mortality, to rub it in your face and say, this man is dead and you killed him. Hope you're happy.
Then came the Punisher Ultimate Payback on Game Boy. As expected, it's much more primitive. But the shocking thing, it has music. So that's one major advantage over the NES version. You have to avoid shooting innocent people, even though it just takes some life away. I mean, you'd think there'd be bigger consequences than that. And when an enemy takes a hostage, you just gotta watch your aim. And then Spider-Man comes in!
Oh, Spider-Man's in this game! It's the Game Boy cinematic universe. And that covers the Marvel games. All right, Sam, how's the game coming?
It's getting there. I mean, there's a little bit of sprite flicker. Why don't you try it out?
Hourglasses?
But you said no clocks.
No! We need something else.
Sundials?
Wait. Death blocks? Oh, these remind me of something.
Well, see, that would be a thing called developer difficulty, where if you are testing your own game 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and not sleeping, you get really good at it, and so the game ends up like way harder than you think it is.
Yeah, we need to tone down the difficulty.
It's okay. We got a focus group lined up. Universal's done it for us.
Wait, everything's flickering.
Yeah, that's the NES. I can't do too many sprites on the screen at once, otherwise it starts flickering. I'm still working on the solution for that one.
Okay, I can't even control which way I'm supposed to be going. Okay, well, maybe can we move on to another console?
That would entail starting over from scratch.
All right, keep it on the NES. Get it fixed. What were you thinking? Oh, God. Oh, I gotta focus on my task here. Acknowledge every LGN game, and then I can move on. Well, let's get to the wrestling games next. Now, there were 3 on NES brandishing the LJN logo, and thankfully, I've already talked about them. Ugh. Oh! Oh! Trying to hit a guy here is like trying to hit a grain of sand with a tennis racket while Andre the Giant farts directly into your nostrils. Steel Cage Challenge, well, it has a steel cage mode. If you like glimpsing the wrestlers through the cage, get the cage out of the way, I can't see anything. Just kick him to the ground and repeatedly stomp his dick, then pin him for the slowest 3 count in history.
One funny thing I forgot to mention was that in both WrestleMania Challenge and King of the Ring, you can play as yourself. What the hell is that supposed to mean? It's not like you can customize it to actually look like yourself. King of the Ring also had a Game Boy version. It's similar to the NES version, but even more awkward and with Atari sounds. WWF, more like WTF. WWF Superstars was a big improvement. Better graphics, has music during the match, but whenever the characters get close, their bodies sort of fuse together. It's weird. Then there was WWF Superstars 2. Hey, it's on the title screen and they're already wrestling. It's impressive they included the wrestlers' theme songs. You have the option to fight in a cage match, which I don't really see the point of, but hey, each Game Boy version is an improvement over the last. Next up, we have a trilogy on Super Nintendo. In my wrestling episode, I trashed all 3 of these games, but I have to admit, these were fun. The first was WWF Super WrestleMania. It had a great character lineup, and seeing the faces all digitized was new and exciting. It gave you the option of fighting one-on-one or tag team, and you had a variety of moves to pull off. You could jump off the ropes and even fight outside the ring. It introduced a grapple system where you gotta tap the button real fast to perform a move.
So if you're playing with a friend, it's all about who has the fastest thumbs. And that's when it gets crazy. You gotta fucking tap that shit like grease lightning. And if you're both the same speed, it'll go on forever. Yeah, you haven't experienced anything until you've been in a fucking thumb war over LJN wrestling games on Super Nintendo. Yeah!
The second in the trilogy was WWF Royal Rumble. This is the one I used to play the most as a kid. I always remember how when you flip through the character screens, their theme song plays. I had never heard such awesome synthesized metal coming through my Super Nintendo. Sometimes I'd cycle through these tunes and just let it play in my room. Yeah. The game itself functions like the last one, but improved with the option of the Royal Rumble, of course. This is where it gets nuts, having all those characters fill the ring, unleashing pure chaos and pandemonium. And if you get thrown out, you can still sit back and watch the rest of the fight. The third in the trilogy was WWF Raw, and wow, what a trippy opening. At first I thought the game was glitching. So this version is like Royal Rumble on crack. Now there's mega moves and finishing moves. I don't know, but at a certain point I think enough is enough. The computer opponents are much harder, I have to say. Overall, it's fun, crazy wrestling action, and the chair hit never gets old. That's my favorite wrestling trope. There just happens to be a chair there. So might as well hit somebody. Only problem, they usually don't want to come near. Come on, anybody? Who wants to get hit by a chair? But then, of course, there was WWF Raw on Game Boy. Going from the Super Nintendo to these tiny characters on a portable screen? Yeah. The fixed camera angle with a wide view of the ring doesn't help. The grapple button mashing is way more tiring on the D-pad, so I say fuck it. And that covers the wrestling games.
All right, Sam, how's the game looking?
Yeah, this is okay. So we got the feedback from the focus group. The difficulty is too high. The game is too easy. Too many enemies. Not enough opponents to fight with. Somebody says that they really want hula girls and a bowling ball weapon.
This is horrible. Do we even have any power-ups at all now?
Well, you said no hourglasses, so the time kind of runs out a bit quick.
What's happening with the music here?
Okay, so we had the power of love. Well, we couldn't, the licensing and everything, so I sped it right up so you can't even recognize it, because I didn't have time to write a new song.
Oh no, you didn't put the bowling ball.
It's in the nose. The focus group wanted bowling balls, man. I don't know why.
Who wanted bowling balls? Oh, the flickering is worse. Oh, the controls are worse. Oh, we are spiraling into the toilet here.
Just while I have you, we do need to nix the time travel and the Hill Valley background and a few other things just because of time constraints.
Fine. Just make it playable. Make it work. How much time do we have to fix this?
Okay. Well, the deadline is, let me take a look. 2 hours from now. Hope you got a flux capacitor.
All right, you got one last chance. Don't fuck this up.
All right, let's finish the LJN library. But before we end this, it's worth mentioning they also made a gaming accessory, the Rollin' Rocker, which I already covered.
It's another hunk of plastic. Who made this thing? Son of a bitch. I'm drinking Rollin' Rock on the Rollin' Rocker. Rollin' Rock? Rollin' Rocker. Yeah, Rollin' Rock on the Rollin' Rocker.
But now, let's get into all the miscellaneous games, the LJN leftovers. First up is Pictionary. That's right, the word-guessing drawing game now on your NES. Seems like a good idea, actually. How could you screw that up? The free drawing game, where you can just doodle whatever you want, is so bad it almost rivals the LJN video art. It controls like garbage. The way you have to rotate the tool around and how it speeds away like a runaway rocket makes you wish you had an Etch-a-Sketch instead. And the erase sound effect. I think I've heard that before. Is that from Ghostbusters?
Now that's epic.
When you play the main game, it becomes immediately clear that this is not the Pictionary you'd expect. There's a game on the side that has an astronaut kicking around balls, or firefighters catching people out a window who won't wait their turn, or a guy carrying crates. Don't you hate it when you're trying to stack crates and frog heads keep bothering you? The idea is to last as long as possible in these mini-games, as the more points you get, the more of the picture on the right gets uncovered. When you lose the mini-game, you're left to solve the word for the picture, even if the picture is nowhere near complete. So I've been able to guess many of them, but when you can barely see much of it, what's the point?
How am I supposed to know what that is? How about fuck you?
One game I remember seeing as a kid was Gotcha, the sport. When I saw that cover, I was intrigued because I thought that red splash was blood, but it's actually a paintball capture the flag style game. Thank God the Punisher's not playing. The interesting thing is that the game was part of a marketing franchise of toy guns for kids that shot washable paint. They were made by LJN's Entertech division. The other weird thing is that it's sorta based on the comedy action film Gotcha from '85. I'd put this in the movie category, but it's such a loose adaptation.
So it uses the NES zapper and controller at the same time. So use the D-pad to go left and right, and the zapper to fire, obviously.
All you do is blast people with your paintballs and try to capture the flag.
Well, it's not that great. But what do you expect from an NES Zapper game made by LJN that's sorta kinda maybe based on a movie and that's part of a line of paintball guns for kids?
Surf's up, dudes! It's TNC Surf Design. I've reviewed this one in rhyme before, if you remember that. But let's take another look. There's two sections, skateboarding and surfing. The skateboarding is self-explanatory. You just gotta dodge everything while trying to make the fastest time. And I don't understand the hitboxes or anything. Look at this. I just fell into the side of a hole.
Man, I could never skateboard, even in a game. I mean, skateboarding's like some kind of high-level wizardry. Tony Hawk and shit. It's fucking crazy, man. Skate or die. For me, it's the latter. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Ow! Ooh!
The surfing stage is one that goes down as one of the unholiest of ass fests. The controls I couldn't figure out as a kid, and I can't figure them out now. You just keep getting sucked into this wave. Not to mention, what's up with the choice of characters? The gorilla looks like some kind of generic cartoon, but the other one,
Now, hang on. Somebody decided that should be a character. Yeah, we have this rad surfing game. What kind of character should we have? I don't know. How about a cat in a tuxedo?
But it's not just a cat. It's a man's body with a cat's head. Anyway, man, this game sucks. Wish I could be that guy casually floating at the bottom. He's got the life. But not me. I can't relax. I gotta flip some shit at the top of the waves here. Fuck! 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 Oh, wow. Oh, yes, yes! Ah! But hey, guess what? There was a sequel, TNC 2, Thrilla Safari. So the plot concerns Thrilla Gorilla.
Wait, a plot?
Wow, they really put a lot more thought into this one. So Thrilla's girlfriend, his human girlfriend named Barbie Bikini, is captured by a witch doctor. So it's the standard rescue the girl bullshit. The stages alternate between skateboarding and surfing. It's more action-based than the previous game. You race through, fighting enemies and jumping hurdles.
Oh my God, he exploded! Let's see that again.
It's 1,000 times more playable than the other game, but fuck them both.
Everybody's heard about the nerd. Nerd, 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 nerd's the word. Nerd, 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 nerd's the word. Nerd, 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 nerd's the word. Don't you know about the nerd? Everybody knows that the nerd is the word. Surfing nerd!
Next up, Crash Dummies. Good thing I took care of that one. Everything is just flat and lifeless. The character animation looks really stupid. Everyone walks like they're holding in a huge shit. You know, like when you have to go so bad, it feels like the poop's pressing into your pelvic bone. But there's also Crash Dummies on Game Boy. So this one's just a bunch of mini games. You start out falling from a building and are supposed to crash into as many things as possible on the way down.
Was that supposed to happen? It's a game where you're a crash dummy who crashes into shit. How do you know when you die?
The next screen says, "That was boring." Yep, I'll leave it at that. Then there was the Super Nintendo version, a simple side-scroller. With 16 bits, you'd think they'd shift the quality to the next gear, but instead, they cut the corners. Fair gameplay takes a back seat to this half-ass accident that'll let the air out of your tires till you crash and burn. There's also a Genesis version, which was identical. It was typical of Acclaim to put the same game on both consoles while only putting the LJN stamp on the Super Nintendo version. But this was a rare case on the Genesis. Even though the LJN logo is nowhere to be seen on the box or cartridge, it does appear on the copyright screen, and to my knowledge, is the only Genesis game where the LJN name ever appeared. Since these games are so identical, I was on the fence whether it should be counted twice.
If not, that would bring our total number of 67 LGN games down to 66. Or would you say an identical game half counts? 0.5? Or would you say it more than half counts? A 0.6? There's 66.6 LGN games. Fuckers! Come on, knock it off!
Then there was a game called Revolution X on Super Nintendo, which was originally an arcade. The plot is some crazy shit. Some dictatorship called the New World Order bans all video games and media.
Can they ban Superman 64, Dark Castle, Action 52? Should have banned all these fucking games.
You must battle New Order forces to get backstage at Club X to meet Aerosmith, where together you will begin the revolution?
Aerosmith! The band Aerosmith is in this game!
You'd think because they were such a big part, they would have appeared more prominently on the box art. Not just the boring Revolution X logo.
Their music is all over it, and I didn't even know the Super Nintendo was capable of emulating those songs with such clarity. Just listen.
And if that's not enough, Steven Tyler gives you mission briefings.
If you're watching this, then they've taken over. It's up to you now. Find our car and stop the New Order. Remember, music is a weapon.
Steven Tyler is talking to me through my Super Nintendo. This blurs the line between awesome and ridiculous. It's a game where you start a revolution by using music, love and peace. No. By fucking murdering everyone!
This can't be real. You just shoot everything. All you do in this game is destroy. You even shoot bad guys in a strip club, and the dancers keep dancing. I ain't seeing this, man. The arcade even has blood.
Now we're living on the edge. Janie's got a gun, all right. Sweet emotion? More like sweet ammunition. That's what they should have done. If you're gonna have an Aerosmith shoot 'em up game, you might as well play it up. Could have had a whole soundtrack.
Revolution X!
It's Revolution X, the hot new album from Aerosmith, packed with songs to take down the New World Order to.
Love is an epic slaughter, shooting them up when they hit the ground. Love is an epic slaughter. Wah, wah, dude looks like he's dead now. Dude, looks like he's dead now. Scream on, scream on, scream on.
Revolution X, order now.
Hurry!
And so in 95, Acclaim performed an exorcism on the LJN name, and so it was gone for 5 years. Like a demon seeking a new host, it found another console to invade, the Dreamcast, and thus emerged the final appearance of the unholy sign, the old rainbow in the dark.
Look at that logo in full Dreamcast glory.
You know, I'm gonna miss reviewing LJN games. No, I'm not.
The game is Spirit of Speed, a racing game which takes place in 1937. So I guess maybe if you're really into classic cars of that time period, it might sort of be appealing. But geez, give me Mario Kart or F-Zero any day. Even as far as realistic racing games go, this is more like early PlayStation or N64 than Dreamcast. Spirit of Speed my ass, more like Spirit of Slow. The cars handle like you're dragging 20 tons of bowling balls and donkey dung. You like trudging through farmland as dull green and gray wash over your senses? And 10 laps? What are you kidding me? This is something you play if you want to go to sleep.
There's almost nothing to say about it. I can't work with this. Well, you know what? I just completed the LJN library.
Farewell, you fuck.
All right, Sam, let's see the game.
Well, we did our best. So this is the final product. We cut some corners, but I think...
Just show me the damn game!
All right, right. Here it is.
I'm a shitload of fuck! I'm a shitload of fuck!
Nerd! You've made the worst game ever! You've become the very thing you were fighting against!
I should be reviewing your game, nerd! No! I'm the angry video game nerd. No! What was he thinking? What a shitload of fuck! Buffalo diarrhea bullfuck, that is! It's shit, it's poop, and I don't like it.
No!
All these years, I've been trashing these games. But maybe I haven't been fair. Maybe it wasn't the game designer's faults. Maybe if you haven't tried something yourself, you don't know how fucking hard it is. It wasn't their fault. I forgive them. This game, I forgive. And this game, I forgive. And this game... This game sucks.